Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today's video is gonna be a bit different. Uh, Today's video is not gonna be about a Lego gun or Lego in general, but I'm not going to make these kinds of videos very frequently because they're actually kind of expensive to make and take a bit more time. So basically, this video is about, if you probably already know what it's about since you read the title. It's gonna be about a Transformers figure, and this is not a Hasbro official licensed figure. It's a third party. So here it is. Here's the box. It's the Mechanical Alliance Dark Commander, and you can probably tell who it is by looking at the picture or the box. It's basically Optimus Prime, but it's Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie, the new Bumblebee movie. So yeah, basically this is about it for the box. It's a Chinese figure. So basically this is how it looks. They look the same on all sides. This is the sides. This side is different, middle version. Uh it's not entirely metal, just some of it is made out of metal. It's made out, some of the parts are made out of die-cast metal. So yeah, this is the back. This is basically the same, and here's the bottom. Whoops, it's a ton of Chinese words. So it's basically just information about the figure. I'm not gonna read it since I don't actually really my Chinese isn't as good as you might think, but whatever. So we're gonna move on to the figure. You basically only get two things. The figure, it comes in robot mode, but I prefer starting from the vehicle mode, and also one accessory, a gun. So basically you have two things in one box. It also comes with a instruction manual, but I'm not gonna show that since the instructions for this figure is basically borderline useless. I couldn't figure out. I didn't transform this with the instruction manuals because the instructions weren't as clear. It's a bit hard to understand. So basically, I just fiddled around with the figure and figured out how to transform him myself. So this again is a third-party figure, and is not most of the time third-party figures, or basically third-party products, aren't as good as the ones that you usually buy. So this is not made by Hasbro, and it's not licensed by Hasbro, but in the Transformers hobby or series, or whatever you want to call it, basically Transformer figures, usually third-party figures are better. Not all of them, but most of them. So basically, some of them are expensive, but it's more worth it than buying a Hasbro or Takara toy or figure, however you want to call it. So I'm not gonna talk about all that third-party stuff right now. So let's take a look at the truck mode. It's pretty special. Oh, and I'm not going to do these videos very frequently. I'm just doing this because I got this figure a few days ago, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I guess I could do a review on it since I like Optimus Prime a lot. So looking at the truck mode, you can see a big problem, which is this big massive hole here, but it's not a big problem since many people display their Transformers in their robot mode, so there's not much of a point in complaining about the vehicle mode. The transformation is just a play feature. If you're just gonna display them, you're probably gonna display them in their robot mode, so there's not much there's no need to complain about this. This is, other than this big hole here, it actually looks pretty decent. I like this design a lot. It's basically designed to look like the G1 version. This is since it is the this is from the Bumblebee movie, the new one, the reboot. So yeah, so we'll first take a look at the gun before we move on to the transformation. The gun is pretty simple. It's based off the one Optimus had in the Bumblebee movie. It looks pretty cool. I like it. These two pins here have a use. I'm going to show that later. So now we're gonna move on to the transformation. So this is in no way how would you say it? It's not. I did not follow the instructions to transform it. I'm doing this all by myself. I've fiddled with the figure. So what I like to do is separate the back and pull this back, because this part here has a few holes. 2 holes here and 2 pegs here. They tab in here, and this hole here. So after you've done that, you want to separate that, and you can see these are the legs, as any Optimus Prime figure would be. Now we'll be still working on the legs. So now we'll unpeg the feet from the sides. They're pegged in a bit. They're pegged into this here. So now we just want to fold them down. Once they're flat like this, you want to turn them around, and sometimes they're a bit hard to turn. You have to angle them properly, and now just bend the feet down like so. There we go, we have the feet. And now this is actually pretty cool. I like this a lot. You fold this part down, and this, do the same on the other side. Just put them in correctly. And sorry if you hear some background noise, my family is using the TV. So you basically, you can push this in. This is a bit tight on the other side, so yeah, it looks pretty sleek. Now what you do with this, you can see there are a few lines here. You can fold it. How do you fold it again? You fold it down. You fold this piece down, then you fold it to the side, and you can flatten it like so. Now you just push, and you can see there's a peg here, there's a hole here. It goes in. Basically just tab it in. Now the feet and legs and thighs are basically complete. So most of the Optimus Prime figures, the transformation for the legs are pretty simple, and now we're gonna do the upper body. So you basically stick your fingernails in there and unpeg that. Do the same on the other side. Fold this up. There we go. And now we have access to the windows. You want to fold these down to make it easier to turn the torso later. We'll have to do something. And the transformation is actually, for the chest, it's a bit similar to the Masterpiece Optimus Prime, the MP10. But it's also different as well. You'll see why later. Now, you want to fold these up a bit so you have some space to fold this down. After you fold these down, you can wiggle the arms out. Do the same on the other side. Remember to pull these up. These are basically his shoulder pads. So wiggle the arm out. Now it looks like a monstrosity. It's a bit hard to transform him on camera since I'm standing behind the camera. Right, now you can see his head is exposed. You want to, this is a bit tight, so it might be a bit scary when you do it, but just pull it carefully. Alright, now it came off. You want to push this part down, all the way down. You want to unpeg this part here and fold it all the way back. And now we're going to try to turn the torso. But before you do that, I guess you could fold these plates, pin them on, do these correctly. Now you probably should do this, fold the arms up, wiggle, pull this part down, this thing here. This is the front of the truck, and it will form his back later. So now, as you can see, you want to push the windows in a bit, but don't close it, so it can be easily turned around. And as you can see, sometimes this blocks it, but just wiggle it around a bit and it should be should be easy to do, but it might take a few times to get the hang of it. And now you want to open up the windows, push the head up, and tab the chest in. Some people might call them window titties. So now we're gonna work on the back, which kind of looks like a monstrosity right now, but basically what you want to do, these like lines here, and tab, you just want to fold this part on, fold it on top, and now it looks like this in the front. You want to fold in the wheels, like so. After you fold it in the wheels, you can just push the back up, and now he's basically almost complete. Now you just want to turn the forearms like that. Now you just want to make it let his parts just fold everything out. That's supposed to let the parts be where they're supposed to be. So here's Optimus Prime in his robot mode. So there are a few problems with this figure when I got it, but it's not any major problems. Basically loose joints, as you can see, the wiggle, and the knees here used to be very loose. Now they're a bit tighter. There are screws here, so if your model is loose, you can just screw it in to make it tighter. But the thighs, this here, I couldn't tighten it, but it doesn't really affect the posing on this guy. So, and I have a few gripes on the robot mode. One of the gripes is, why are the side skirts looking so weird? So you can see the side skirts pretty much look out of place. And why are they black? Couldn't you make it gray so it could like fit in with the other colors? But this is pretty much what you get for the price. It's actually pretty cheap, but it's pretty good for its price. So here you have a pretty clean back, but you can see the kibble from the front. This here, it looks weird, but again, for its price, it's pretty decent. As you can see, the head sculpt, the sculpting of the head is it looks pretty cool. And it looks a bit weird on camera. Maybe I won't put it so close to the camera, but as you can see, it looks pretty cool. The color looks very nice. But the mask of Optimus Prime isn't as accurate. It's supposed to have some markings on the mask, but yeah, still looks very cool. As you can see, it looks pretty nice for its price, and so it stands up pretty well. As you can see, it stands up pretty easily. So now we're gonna move on to the posability of the figure. These parts here move. They are like the shoulder pads, so the arms can move up like so. Now the smokestacks can swivel. Actually, they can swivel, and I think you can pull them out, but I'm not gonna do that. So the shoulder pads move up so he can T-pose like so, and the arms can go, if you position it correctly, it can go 360. Well, I guess it can't because of the kibble back here, but still very posable. And this isn't really part of the posability, just for the transformation, but whatever. And this area can turn, can swivel. The fist, the hands are just the fist, can't pose, but there's a swivel here, and basically the same on the other side. Head is not on a ball joint, not that I can see it. I think it's not on a ball joint, it's on a swivel joint, but yeah, I can go 360 like so. Bend at the elbow, goes this high. So yeah, that's basically it for the upper body. And moving to the back, and as you can see when I was showing you the tightness of the figure, this is the posability of the thighs. I guess it can move up this high. Now it's loose, but if you push it all the way up, it kind of stays there. Even if you wiggle it, it doesn't come down, so I guess that's good. But if it's like in the standing position, it's a bit loose. I tried tightening the screws back here, but it didn't work, and there's no screw in this hole. So yeah, can't really fix the looseness of the thighs, but doesn't really affect the posability or the handling of the figure. So the knees, bend at the knee, same on the other side. Ankle pivot, can pivot actually pretty far, can move back, but that's more part of the transformation. Alright, so oh yeah, now we have the spread. Beautiful spread, as someone would say. So yeah, that's basically it for the figure. He can hold a blaster like so, and two holes here, I mean two pegs here, or pins, actually has something to do with these two holes here. You can peg it in like so for weapon storage, and it actually looks pretty cool. So he stand, it doesn't, oh, now you don't want to stand correctly. God damn it. It's a bit hard posing him on camera, but okay, what the hell is happening? Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna let him lay down. Like, that's pretty much it. Now, a few things we want to talk about the figure. Even though the box says 6 and up, I don't really recommend this for younger children, since the transformation is a bit, it might not be as complicated, but most of the parts, especially the feet, are pretty easy to break if you play like a man-child, or basically any child that doesn't really care for the toys or figures or whatever you want to call them. It won't break if you treat them nicely, but some of them might, like, sometimes it's a bit hard to turn this part here, and some kids or some people might think it's just a bit too much friction and just keep turning it, and that might end up breaking it if you treat it too harshly, like anything. So I don't really recommend this to younger children. So yeah, it's basically it for the video. Also, here's a reminder: the tutorial for the Lego pistol is gonna be posted when the channel reaches 100 subscribers. We're already at 99, just need one more. So hopefully you guys can do that if you guys want to see it earlier. The video is already pre-recorded. I already recorded it. So once the channel reaches 100 subscribers, I can just immediately post it and you guys can see it. So yeah, if you guys want to see it earlier, you know, get someone to sub or something. Whatever. If you like the video, like or whatever. I'm out. Bye.